Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are, this is New 2 here. And today I'm bringing you a look at an Astral build for the TCG Lightseekers. So if you've been following my channel now, you'll know that I occasionally put up a few builds when I can get my hands on some of the cards. And just this weekend I was able to finish my Cassini deck. There she is. And so I put together something that I would like to show you. So let's look at the start. My favourite Sky Grandma. And this is Cassini. So Cassini is a 31 health hero with Solar, Lunar and Gravity and Superior Solar. And a cool ability that says you can discard one card to deal 3 damage to another hero. This cannot be increased by effects. So this is really cool. And if you're not familiar with Astral, Astral has kind of two main kind of gimmicks or plays that they can do. One of them is to gain additional actions. So you can see here, just looking at Tactona Tactician, you see if your last discarded card is Gravity, gain an additional action. And the second thing is additional effects, depending on what your last card in your discard pile is. Like Dusk Feeder here. So Cassini really allows you to set up for big plays that really maximise Astral's ability to get more actions and more value for their cards by what your last card in the discard pile was. So I really like Cassini, and I love the artwork as well. There you go, you can have a look. And let's get right onto the cards. So let's have a look at some of our 3-ofs here. So we run 3 Icona Tactician. It's an amazing card. My only problem with it is that it's a starter deck exclusive. So you have to buy 3 starter decks or beg your friends to trade them with you. And it gives 4 healing. And if your last discarded card is Gravity, you gain an additional action, and it is Lunar. So amazing, love Icona. Next, what most decks should be running is 3 of their buff removal. And this is Pathfinder. So he removes 1 buff, that's okay. But he can increase that by 2 if the last discarded card is Lunar. And it's Gravity, so that works as well. So straight away you can see some synergy there with Icona Tactician and Pathfinder. So that's really cool. Next, I've got some good draw support here, Spectral Guide. So you play it down and you draw a card. And then next turn you can use this as a defend ability, rotate it and draw 2 cards. So it's really good. We run 3 of those just to make sure that we can get through the deck. Astral Priest. 3 damage. Okay, that's cool. And we can increase this by 3 if the last discarded card is Lunar. So that's really cool. So that's a 6 damage card there. We run 3. Shapeshifter. It's one of my personal favourites. It's really cool. So we draw a card face up, so it replaces itself straight away. And then if it's Gravity, we can heal for 5. And if it's Solar, we can deal 5 damage. So that's really cool. And what if it's both, like in a combo, like in Sunstrike? That means we heal for 5 and we deal 5. So it has some really good potential there. And yeah, I run 3. And just I love the artwork there. It looks like some kind of polar bear turning into a falcon, or some kind of falcon turning into a polar bear. Anyway, it's fantastic. I love it. We run 3. Next, and then the last of our 3-ofs, we run 3-Dimensional Hunter. So it deals 2 damage, and then the recipient of that damage moves 2 defend cards from their hand to their deck. And then if your last discarded card is Lunar, we gain an additional action. So it's really good. It stacks really well with some of your other cards to get these long chain combos going off. We like to run 3. Next, we run 2 Subjugator. Really cool. For 2 turns, the hero that you select will not be able to play attack cards. So in multiplayer, that means they just can't play attack cards. But in 1v1, that means they just can't play attack cards against you. They can still deal you damage. There are some cards that deal you damage that defend cards, like Shapeshifter, for instance, or Umbron Marauder. But really, it's a great way to protect yourself for a couple of turns. Next, Skyward Observatory, and this does nothing on the first turn it comes in, but for the next 2 turns it increases all your damage and healing done by 2. So we really like that. And if you can get those big chains of play off, you'll really see great value with Skyward Observatory. And Icona Tactician, Dimensional Hunter, Astral Priest, Shapeshifter, you're going to get loads out of that. So that's really cool. Next, we run just the 2 vanilla Chimchu Militant. Sometimes you just need that stab damage. So we run 2 of those to deal 5. Plus, who doesn't love a Chimchu? And finally, for our 2-offs, 2 Paralysis Bug. So these cute little critters, they you play it down, you draw a card, so it replaces itself. So that's great, straight up. And then we can select a hero when this card comes into play, and that hero can't draw cards or play defend cards for that turn. So that's really good. We really like that. And it's a great way just to catch your opponent off guard. Maybe they're running low on cards. You might play down a Paralysis Bug. So even if they pass, they can't draw. So we really like that. And that's perfect. Next, let's have a look at our 1-offs. We run a 1-off Dusk Feeder. 3 healing, increase this by 4 if your last discarded card is solar. So just a bit of spike healing. We run 1 Chimchu Infiltrator. It's a really cool card because he can become technically any discarded action card. And so that's great. So often we'd use him for buff removal, I think. You know, you can play him down, you can get some of your buff removal back, you know, you get your Pathfinders back. Or basically it becomes almost anything in the deck. So we like that, really good. We run it as a 1-off. Mirror Beast, again a 1-off. If your last discarded card is Gravity, move this card back to your hand. So it bounces. It never hits the discard pile. So you just play it goes bong, back to your hand. So with this in hand and a Gravity in your discard, you've always got something able to play. And that's just really important for keeping up that hand card advantage. So we just run the 1. And finally, a 1-off Sun Beacon. So we draw the top card of our deck and discard it. We heal for 5 and we deal 4 damage. So it's really good, but it's a little bit RNG here because you never know what you're going to discard. Could be a combo, could be one of your buff removals. So we just run 1, but it's a really nice swing for 9. I do have another 2. Sometimes I think about swapping them out for the for the shapeshifters. It's all up to your playstyle. And let's have a look at our combo, shall we? Oh, one of my favourites, Anti-Gravity Field. So for 2 Gravity and a Luna, you can do 10 damage. So that's good, straight up. And then you draw 1 card, so it replaces itself in your hand. And if that card is not a Gravity, increase the damage done by 4. So potential 14 damage and a draw card. And then the card that you draw at the end of your turn for playing a combo. It's amazing. Anti-Gravity Field is fantastic. I love it. Next, Black Hole. 9 damage and remove all buffs in play. So that's really good if your opponent is playing down all those mountain forts. He's playing down cards. He's filling up the board. You say, you know what? Let's just get rid of him. You play Black Hole and clear it off. And you can use Black Hole to pay for Anti-Gravity Field. So that's really cool. Next, Sunstrike. There you go. So just a 2 cost, 1 solar, 1 gravity. 7 damage, gain an additional action. So that's really cool because with Sunstrike, then you can start getting the chains on. So you can play Sunstrike into your Kona Tactician. If your last discarded card is Luna there, into Dimensional Hunter, then maybe into Chimchu Militant. So you can get really good value out of just the 1 free action to chain loads of other actions as well. So that's cool. Next, Rippling Flare. Just a 2 solar, 10 damage. It has a multiplayer effect too, so it does 7 damage to everyone there. But cost of 2, deals 10, really good. It's, to me, it's better than Explosive Blast, which is the kind of tech equivalent. Because the Explosive Blast, you take 11 damage, you deal 11 damage, but you take 2 back. This just deals 10, and that's fine. And finally, Stellar Fusion. So Stellar Fusion can pay for this. And can also pay for your Sunstrike as well. And so it just increases damage done to other heroes by tap. So first turn nothing, then next turn 4/4/4. And this card cannot be removed or returned when your last discarded card is solar. So if you play it right, you can have this thing on the field and it's going to be a massive headache to your opponents. So I really like Stellar Fusion. And you know, just before I kind of round off here, I just want to take a look at the artwork. Just for these Astral combos, they just look so nice. Get Anti-Gravity Field too. All the artwork for Lightseekers is particularly excellent, but in Astral, I think they've really hit the nail on the head. Here we go. Let's just go through them all again and have a quick look. Kind of love the theme, kind of Native American looking stargazers, almost a little bit of like a English colonial guy there as well, an Edwardian. Astral Priest, and then you kind of got these Cthulhu monsters as well, and little bugs and kind of owlmen. So yep, this is my Cassini list. It's yeah, it plays pretty solid. It's just a nice taster for anyone who's interested in playing Astral. So yeah, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've been U2, and again, if you've liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Goodbye.